All right, John, Jonah, again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, pretty well.
Of course, of course. So tell me, how excited are you to perform your new show, Nocturnal Omissions, at the Green Room 42?
Very excited. Very excited. Yeah.
We think it's going to be a really, really good kind of queer fun time, and I am ready for that. I think we all need a little lift of spirits right now.
I totally agree. Yes. Have either of you performed in this space before, the Green Room 42?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually kind of become our home base to try out new shows. We originally started our relationship with them with, I wrote a show called Bleak, Songs for the Not Quite End of the World, which is a very kind of satirical song cycle, very dark humor. And they loved it. They kept bringing us back for a couple encore performances. And so we decided that this was going to be the exact right place to try out this new show too.
All right, perfect. So what can we expect from Nocturnal Emissions?
Ooh, this my favorite words that we've been using to describe it are queer frivolity. It
Okay.
is, I think you put it nicely of like, it's after our much darker show that we've done before, it's about like how stupid and horny can we be? How much fun can we have?
If the last show was black humor, this is blue humor. So
Okay. 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 Nice. Yeah.
It's a lot of original songs.
yeah.
John is a writer. They've written about half the songs in the show.
Mhm.
And then we also do a lot of mashups in this. The other half of it is frequently very absurd or unexpected songs smashed to get together.
Okay, cool. So, John, you're primarily the writer and front person, while Jonah, you're the music director and leader, right?
It's
Go ahead.
that is very much the case for Bleak, and for most other things that I do, I'm the music director and at the piano.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to I'm telling people when doing this show as Jonah, I really need to give them some Jonah. I'm actually coming up to be an equal performing partner in the front for this one.
So this is the first show that we're really dragging him out from behind the piano. So
Nice. Okay, it's putting you in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Awesome, very nice. So, what do you ultimately hope audiences take away from this show?
this one, I think it's a little bit of, I want to show the resilience of queer joy and kind of imbue the audience with some of that,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of power in dumb, and there's a lot of power in being dumb together and in whimsy and in not taking yourself too seriously. And there's something about joining in this kind of almost like ritual of allowing yourself to just be dumb, happy, glitter filled, and queer that sends you kind of off into the world again to, remember what it is that we're all fighting for in the first place, which is joy, community, the ability to have elbow room to be stupid. So yeah.
You make more of a shift of finding your way to that. Whereas I think I kind of start from there.
Okay.
I have the one brain cell already.
Love it, love it. So, in addition to being a performing duo, you're also romantic partners. How did you two initially meet, and how long have you been together?
We met in this neighborhood. I was living in the neighborhood and they were visiting from Seattle.
Okay.
I
New
was
York,
sitting
right?
on my laptop. I was orchestrating music in a coffee shop. And they sat down next to me and opened their laptop and started studying a choral score. And we're like, what are you doing? Who are you? I'm kind of too shy to talk to you, but I'm so cute. Oh, I just remembered we were also both playing Pokemon Go.
I forgot about that. It was like 5.5 years ago now at this point.
And we sat next to each other for like an hour.
Yeah. And then finally I broke the ice. So I get the points for that for the entire rest of the relationship.
Mhm.
And I was visiting New York, making sure that I wanted to move here from Seattle. I was pretty sure, and I was checking out different neighborhoods, staying with friends. And so I was here for 6 weeks to try it out. And I had a lovely 6-week fling because I met this handsome gentleman who also happened to be a wonderful musician on day 2 of that 6 weeks. And so when I moved finally to New York from Seattle, I had a very handsome man waiting to help me unload the van.
There you go. There you go. Love it. Now you're stuck with
And
each
that's 5.5 years ago now. So it's been a good while.
Yes, yes. So, what do you enjoy the most about working with each other in like a creative space?
Ooh, one of the many things I like is you are like creatively challenging to me in that I don't typically think of myself as a writer.
Okay.
But I get to be more involved in the creation of a piece than I normally feel comfortable doing. I feel very safe with John to try things, push myself, have communication about what we're making.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that there is no idea that I can throw at Jonah that he won't at least try to make work. And that means whether it is smashing two stylistically different pieces that are in very different keys with different time signatures and different textures together to try to make them into this kind of cohesive piece, or bringing together a nugget of an original song where I'm like, here's 4 sketches of parts of songs. Do we think we can knit that together into one piece? And kind of whatever I bring to the table, Jonah then brings his like Broadway level orchestration skills and arranging skills, and it just makes my songs sound like I intended them to be very good and complicated and complex.
You also, from my perspective, you have a really wide range of skills. Like I've thrown a bunch of we took a monologue from a recent movie, like a 2-minute, like furious, like dramatic thing, and I've been like, great, we're gonna replicate that, and I'm gonna score it. And it's such complicated music to do now because we're following exactly what the performer in the movie does, and they have the classical chops to parse it. But also, when I was like, I want to get up and sing this one on a microphone, this other song, can you play piano for this one? So they're gonna take over my spot for a bit while I go out in front.
Nice.
Should we let? So just so you know, that monologue is in fact the Toni Collette's dinner monologue from Hereditary, which we really thought needed a musical setting to help deliver it, and cement it in the musical world as well.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It just came up one day, like a couple months ago, when it was like, oh, what? Do you know this thing? That would be what if we did it in the show? What if we did it in the show with music? Yeah, that's happened a few times.
Awesome.
This is dumb. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Let's do it. Always go with that. Always go with that. And so it seems like it's a very collaborative process between you two. It's not like that one of you does more work than the other, or there's no real like power struggle between you two.
Yeah. I mean, like there is a communication process of writing a piece together that involves sometimes going, I think this works this way. I think it works this way. I don't think that works. That we have to negotiate. We had that yesterday, and we've come out to a stronger place about the piece because of it. So,
and I think it also kind of depends on the show that we're writing, because Bleak was all original songs, and I did all the melodies, all the lyrics, and I would come with like sometimes a harmonic sketch of like what I wanted the accompaniment to sound like. And then also there's a lot of banter and stories, monologues-ish type thing that make it more of a theatrical piece. And I wrote all of that.
Okay.
So all of that kind of stuff I was very much in charge of. This time, because we wanted it to be specifically a more collaborative effort, I'm like, great, you're going to have like the monologue or bits or whatever between these 2 songs. Go nuts, do whatever you want. And then I kind of take the chunks that are a little bit more mine.
All right, perfect. Are you both still performing Bleak?
We are. We actually just wrapped a small mini residency of it this past month. And should we announce
that we're taping it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
We're not taping it. We're not taping it for public consumption so much, though. We are going back into one of the spaces that we did it in and getting a full recording of the show with a small private audience to show it out to other places in the world, to say, here's what the show is like. Come, not just see it, but like book us places.
Yeah, and that means that we'll have both of those shows kind of on call to go in whatever kind of market or city that we want, which is nice.
We wrote Nocturnal Omissions. We built this. We did a very rough first draft of it in Puerto Vallarta a year and a half ago.
Gotcha.
Because we got in touch with a venue down there, and they were like, "We love what you're doing. It's clever. It's funny. Bleak is a little dark for a gay vacation town. Do you have anything more
peppy?"
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Like, yeah, we can give you Madonna and songs about like gays' affection for pit smells. We can do that.
So Nocturnal Omissions. So the Green Room 42, is it kind of like its premiere? Is this the only next place since Puerto Vallarta?
I would say maybe 30% of the Puerto Vallarta show is making it into this. And that might be generous, actually.
Yeah.
So it feels like the nugget of, we wanted to do something fun, dumb, queer, and also bring Jonah to the front a little bit. Those are kind of the only real elements that's sticking around in maybe 2 songs. So yeah, it's going to be, I think of it as kind of a new piece.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of a new piece.
A lot of new bits and a lot of new songs, and a lot of new looks. Yeah.
That was just our tropical workshop. And once we finished our artist residency down there, now we're ready for the actual public debut.
We basically get to do it a couple of times this time. Like, we're doing it at Green Room. 3 weeks later, we're doing it in San Francisco and in Palm Springs in California.
Okay, that's my
So
next
we get to
question.
try
What
it.
is for it?
Oh, yeah, we get a couple more environments to do it in.
Okay.
So Oasis in San Francisco on Flag Day, and then Oscars in Palm Springs on the 18th.
You say
June.
Flag Day like people know what day that is.
Well, that's how I remember it, because that's the only way I'm going to remember it.
It's June 14th.
June 14th at San
I was gonna say, what
Francisco,
is
June
Flag
18th
Day?
in Palm Springs. Yeah.
I'm really interested in this because in New York and in San Francisco, we have a band. We have a four-piece band with us, which also is great. When I want to step away from the piano, I can just be like, here's the tempo. Go, you guys.
Oh.
Anyway, everybody. At Oscars in Palm Springs, we will not have a band, and we will be folding back down to piano-only size, but all the same material.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit, yeah. Now, have you both always had a passion for entertaining?
Oh, yeah. Yours, I think, is a little more storied, if you want.
Yeah, mine is shifted. I've always been interested in like the mathematical side of music. I've always been an arranger. I've been an orchestrator. I've been interested in how the pieces fit together. I made this pivot as Jonah into pornography during the pandemic. And on that side of my life, I have very much been stepping into the front in a way that I never did as a musician.
Okay.
And that kind of much more direct, I'm making an audience relationship entertainment. I want to tell you things. I want to do things that you experience, is both new and very exciting, but also like a new challenge. It's not how I participated in entertainment before.
Okay.
And on my side of things, I originally started off when I was young being a jazz singer, went to school for music, ended up pivoting to opera and was doing like a lot of classical stuff.
Nice.
And that was a very different performing persona. It was very kind of tuxes and suits and that kind of thing. And I didn't feel really that I could bring my full queer identity to it. And so being able now to do Cabaret, where you can literally do anything. You can do art song, you can do jazz, you can do opera, you can do originals, you can do kind of anything and also smash them up all together. And fully, people are coming to see who you are and what you have to say in a way that I've really, really enjoyed. So I'm glad for all of my background because it lets me pull off weird stuff, but I feel like I'm finally arriving.
Finally, right.
Yeah.
Something I'm loving about Cabaret as a performing world, in the same way that I'm loving about like the OnlyFans side of pornography, is these are both like individual driven performance forms.
Yeah.
You make what you want, when you want to, how you want to. You're not answering to like a higher vision or a product need. You're doing self-expression the way that you feel like you need to get it out.
You've said it's like the Wild West before, where there's not really any rules and you're just kind of making it up as you go in both of those settings.
Yeah.
And makes it fun.
It's nice.
That's fun. Yes. Awesome. All right, John, Jonah, how can one stay up to date with you both?
Ooh, easiest for me, I'm everywhere as Show Off Jonah.
Okay.
I'm on Twitter or X as John M. Coons, Coons, or on Instagram at Blue Note 27 or Bleak the Musical, all one word. And that's really where we're posting a lot of our Cabaret stuff specifically.
All right, perfect. Then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you would like to mention or plug at this time?
Ooh, I don't know. I have an upcoming project every week. But I shouldn't say too much about it here.
So just stay tuned for you.
Exactly.
Okay, fantastic.